presented by the Beeline Entertainment, LLC. Enjoy the show.
People, what's good? Yo, check it out. Welcome to the Beeline ENT, LLC. What we got for you? First off, we got the Beeline Web Show on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, talking a little of everything. Then we got Straight Through the Rope, STR, baby, Wrestle Talk, where we talk all things pro wrestling. Next up, we got the Show Off Show, that's right, the Beeline ENT Entertainment. And then on Sunday nights, we going live on the line with that group panel discussion. Check us out. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe. Also, pick up some merch. The Beeline ENT LLC. Let's go.
Hey, you out there. If you want energy like this,
get the energy of me, Brian B. Enter that promo code BrianB NRG and get 10% off your order today. Get more W, get more power.
WTW Wrestle Talk Wednesdays.
That's right, it's your boy Brian B from the Beeline Entertainment LLC, followed by the American prodigy Warren Marlowe from the Buzz with Marlowe podcast, and you know your boy Trey on Wheels from the 1130 podcast, talking that wrestling. Yeah, be there and make sure you check in at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, and right after that, for WTW, we got the STR Nation, baby, Brian B, Lay, Slim Jefferson, we talking wrestling. Join us 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right after Commission Talks on WTW. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, buy the merch, check out the website. Do it all.
everybody should know. Check it out. Your boy Brian B is trying to go live on TikTok, baby. Follow the Beeline ENT. Head on over to my channel. We got a lot of content. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I'm going to be doing a lot more. Check us out. Follow us, the Beeline ENT LLC. I'll see you there.
2,000 years later.
It's game time. It's game time.
Is stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you. Yes you are, yes you are, yes you are the only one. 'Cause there's something special about you.
Oh, well, I don't know what that was about. But, hey, listen, we live, yo. Can't do nothing about it. We're live. Check it out. People, it's me, Brian B. And it's Thursday night. You've been seeing me all week, right? We had Tuesday show, we had Wednesday game show, and now we got Beeline ENT Entertainment, the place where you come on. Get ready, it's going to be a big one. And show up! That's That's right. Check it out. We back at it. Yo, it's another week in the books. We getting ready. Let me go ahead and get on our Instagram followers over here. Got to go live for them. Hi, Instagram. How you guys doing? Yo, we got a packed house in the house tonight. We got your boy Kyle, Eric, and of course, we got somebody sliding in from another show. We talk wrestling on Wednesday, but she wanted to come on and talk the entertainment with Brian B and Kyle E. Yo, we doing big things tonight. Check it out. If you don't know, it's the Beeline Entertainment. Let's go. I think I got it somewhere. Let's go.
Let's make some noise.
It's me.
Brian B.
What's going on, Brian?
Hey, how you doing?
Who cares? Halloween movie. Temporary high. You, and you, everybody's on.
To understand the Garden with Eve was mostly just a story. What you know, I'm hardly a priest. I'm always refraining. Good for you. With me.
Coming home for Sunday morning.
And I never was.
It's the Beeline. It's the Beeline. It's the Beeline. E-N-T.
Another night. Listen, bro, I feel real good. Guys, check it out, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging in there. It's been a lot of work, man. I know I've been talking about it all week, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm getting back into swinging things. You know, I didn't even have a shirt. I'm wearing all my shirts and stuff like that. My laundry is in there. I ain't been doing laundry. I've been working day and night on the Beeline, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. If you haven't already, please go to YouTube and make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the channel. You know, keep us pushing. You know, I say that, but we're on a whole bunch of different platforms when we go live. But YouTube is the home base. So thank you guys for hanging in there and following us for these years so far. Also, make sure you go and check out the Beeline Entertainment LLC. It is being revamped. We got a lot of stuff coming. One of our guests tonight, she's actually helping me get the wrestling side for Straight Through the Ropes Wrestle Talk. We're going to have a whole section on there since that's growing and growing and showing. Bah! Yo, check it out. Listen, man, we got a brand new show for you tonight. And we're going to be talking some shit on this show right here. What up, JC? JC's always number one in the comments. What's good, bro? Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate it. Yo, but we're going to be talking some interesting topics tonight. But first, we got to bring in the crew. You know him. He's getting to be a regular on the show. He's coming on. He's talking stuff with me. I love his presence. Last week, you guys really must have liked the show because, man, you guys were watching last week, yo. I really appreciate it. But you got my boy, Kyle. Eric, what up, Kyle?
What's good, B?
Chilling, man. Glad to have you back on. I'm looking forward to the topics that we got tonight. It's going to be real interesting to talk about, man.
Most definitely.
Doing good? Had a good day?
You know, I cannot complain. Pretty chill throwback Thursday.
Awesome,
you know?
Awesome, bro. It's always good when you don't got no news is good news, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, we got a guest on tonight. Me and Hud just was on last night with Slim, Jefferson, and of course the Commission Boys, Dre on Wheels, and my boy Warren Marlowe. And we was doing the first ever, oh, you didn't know Wrestle Talk. Yo, you guys like that too. I hope you guys, we gonna have a lot more of those. But we got my girl, the only girl in STR Nation, baby. Give it up for Lay. She in the building. What up, Lay?
What's up?
How's it going?
Listen.
How's it going, Kyle?
Can't complain.
Yep. Lay, this is Kyle. Kyle, this is Lay. Nice to meet each other. Hopefully, I don't know if you guys met before, but yeah.
I don't think so.
Glad to have you guys on together. Yeah, Lay usually does the wrestling shows with us. She's part of the STR, Straight Through the Ropes. Oh. And I think it's your first show outside of Straight Through the Ropes that you're coming on with Beeline ENT.
It is.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, yo. Really looking forward to it. Oh, JC Lay looking gorgeous as always. Great to see you.
Don't get me to blushing.
There you go. Let's make it happen. But guys, Lay, how was your day? You had a good day today?
Yeah, it was really good. I got a lot of stuff accomplished.
Good, yo. That's
Excellent.
Really what it is, man. Yeah, I be like I was saying, like I be struggling to try to find time, yo. If you guys face that same kind of thing, especially when you're doing a lot, like, you know, I sometimes want to sit back and watch a couple movies, man. Especially because if we're doing an entertainment show again, I want to have, you know, the watch list going, and so it's hard to find time.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes for me, I don't even realize how much stuff I've actually done until someone points it out, or I sit back and like my mom's like, "Oh, you've done, you're doing this, and this," and it's all having to do with podcasting because that's my primary thing.
All
But
right.
yeah, I don't even realize it until stuff is already done.
Oh
Because
yeah.
usually I'm not that kind of busy,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. And Lay, I know you working hard. Lay does.
Yeah.
I mean, you do this for like a living, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Video editing, filming, all of
Mhm.
that, graphic design, all
Mm.
day. I'm in front of a computer.
That's
So
right. I wanted to say, hey, for the for the guests who are watching, they watch the ENT show. Maybe they're not into wrestling. Go ahead and introduce yourself and just kind of like tell about you a little bit about you and everything.
well, I'm Lay from STR, like Branson, the only girl going straight through the ropes with the wrestling podcast.
That's right.
During the day when I'm not worrying about choke slams and tombstones, I'm editing videos, I'm filming on the weekends, I'm filming, I'm always filming.
Doing a lot. Yeah, Lay be killing it, man. Lay be helping me out strong with the, getting the stuff together for the website and, us taking pictures. She's like our manager in a way. Like, she's making sure we getting our bios done. And
I'm Miss Elizabeth.
telling you, getting it done. Me and Slim over there, Slim watching, she knows to keep us in line, for real. But guys, we're gonna have a really interesting show tonight. Hopefully nobody clashes and we butt head. We might have some different opinions on some things, but we're gonna talk about probably one of the topics is gonna be probably the most dramatic one. And entertainment show usually don't have too much drama, but this one's gonna have a little bit because of just the topic really. And just to kind of kickstart it, we are going to be talking about the Quiet on the Set documentary that came out. That's kind of exposing a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff that was going on while we were little kids, running around watching Rugrats and all that shit or whatever. And apparently there was a lot more sinister shit going on in the background. Yeah. And we've all watched it in here, right? We've all watched the full documentary. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just finished it, so I'm probably the latest to the party because it was a big thing a couple months back, but now it's like it's a little quieter now. But yeah,
while the documentary, while like people, the stuff on the documentary has been quiet, but more people have been coming out since.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about that for sure. Yeah, as a matter of fact, thank you for saying that, Kyle, because I have a video that I want to show on here as well. But yeah, so also we'll be talking about, for everybody else, if you want to sit through and, hear about that. We're also going to be talking about kids shows that we used to love to watch. That we're going to have that conversation, like, our favorite stuff back in the day. And also we have not too much of a watch list tonight. Probably the documentaries and the shows we talk about are going to be watch list material and recommendation material. But we're also going to do our top 5 favorite rappers. Now, top 5 favorite rappers. This isn't the rapper we think is the best rapper in the world. It's just the ones we like. That's just simple.
It's just our opinion.
Exactly.
That's it. I already told my cousin I might ruffle some feathers with my choices. So.
I'm telling you, because people always ready to fight and shit. Like, what are you talking about? He's not better than him. Shut up. Just let it rock, man.
Exactly.
Rock. All right, yo. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this information on the first thing we're gonna touch on tonight. Y'all was watching Drake Bell's talk about it, and it blew me away the backside, and immediately upset my stomach a bit here. Well, yeah, JC's kicking us off. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, bro.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and get my life together over here. So yeah, Quiet on the Set documentary. I just watched it, late to the party, like I said, and yeah, very, 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 very interesting. Yeah. Now, here's the thing about online. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing about being online and having social media and stuff like that. A lot of times when something's trending, a lot of times when a lot of people are invested in something or watching something, they're gonna post that shit. They're gonna post all about it. And when me and Kyle came up with this idea on last week's show to talk about this week was, I didn't watch it yet. Like I said, I had just watched it, but I had already thought that I had knew what everybody was talking about because I was seeing the TikToks and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, I heard the story. I heard what happened. But when I watched it, I understood so much more and then some. Mm-hmm. So that's why, one of the big things I wanted to start off this conversation by saying is, don't forget to do your research, yo. I mean, that's a big ass thing. Even that I had to kind of just recollect for myself because I just knew. Oh, I know the Drake Bell situation. I know this situation because I saw a couple videos and a couple clips, but I didn't get the full story. And that's a big ass that's a big ass thing we dealing with nowadays, bro, with social media and people having the ability to spread news. Kyle, let's start with you since you kind of came up with this for all of us, man. When you did watch the doc, we're gonna get into parts of it, but when you did watch it, like, what were some of your thoughts, man?
I was keeping myself back from jumping through the TV.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because it. Okay, so as far as Dan Schneider, videos had been coming out about the man for the past few years, right? You go on YouTube. YouTubers had been talking about it for a while, and then other people that had either worked with him or not even just with him, but in Hollywood in general, started coming out and telling their stories, talking about everything from child safety to how much they get paid. And then the Jeanette McCurdy thing happened, and then everything started blowing up even before the documentary, right? Yeah. So going in knowing that stuff, because I watched some of the creator made documentaries and some of the other stuff prior to this. When I first saw this, because my girlfriend and I are big Nickelodeon heads, you know what I'm saying? Like I consider her to be a Nickelodeon historian. She'll come up with stuff I didn't even know, right? And she watched the first episode before I did, and she's like, "Babe, I don't know." And then I watched it after her. And I was like, "I don't know if I can get." It took me a while to get to the next episode after episode 1, because episode 1 was heartbreaking. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it just and the fact is, yes, we're not talking about it as much as we were almost 2 months ago, but now more information is coming out. And he's, and Dan Schneider has tried to set the record straight from his side and tried to apologize. And I'm like, the damage has already been done. The damage has already been done. Sad part is there are so many stories like these throughout history. And that's what kills me. Not just the documentary, not just the fact that some people that were highlighted that actually did stuff to these kids, regardless of what how you see it. Some of them got away with it, and until this day are still working. That's what irritate. That's what pissed me off. That's what made me want to jump through the freaking TV. The Dan Schneider thing was one thing, but that wasn't the thing that broke the camel's back for me. That the fact that we had predators actually, doing work around these kids, and they still have jobs, and some of them got off with like 6 years in jail. That's it. Bro,
the penalty is not that traffic. It's fucking crazy. That's why I wanted to start this by saying, like, listen, Brian B, I ain't gonna lie, it's my shit, right? I can I definitely have an understanding to these stories and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna say some shit that people probably gonna be shocked about and bitching about. And honestly, if I was more popular, or if I had more of a social status or whatever you want to fucking call it, I'd probably, I'm pretty sure I'd be one of them people that's on the list to get canceled and shit. But it's because we'll get to it. But Lay, before you go ahead. I wanted, before I say anything else, I wanted to get your opinion on how you felt when you watched the doc and everything.
Well, like I was saying, one thing that stood out to me was the whole situation with the pay for the female writers on the Amanda Show, and how they lump them together. And I guess that kind of resonated with me, like working in media as a woman, and sometimes they try to shortchange you. But the straw that broke the camel's back for me is Drake's mom. Like, she got to come outside and see me.
Listen,
she
bro.
let her son down, and so many, and not just her, a lot of those parents that were participating, they let their children down. Just hand their kids over for a check.
That's very true. On the web show, back when I was working with a publicist and stuff like that, I had interviewed a couple of different people. One of the people that I interviewed was Ben Seaver from Growing Pains. I don't know if you guys remember Growing Pains, the show. Yeah, Jeremy Miller. He came on the show and he spoke to me. And Jeremy Miller was a child star. He, around the late '80s, going into the '90s and stuff like that. Along with a lot of upcoming, talent. And listen, I talk about this all the time. Whenever I talk, Jeremy was a little pimping, because he had dated Drew Barrymore and Wendy Peppercorn from Wonder Years. Jeremy, he was out there, meeting a lot of these stars. But when I had the conversation with him, one of the things I was the most interested in talking about was, what was your experience like? We see from the, outside looking in on our perspectives and stuff like that so much. To be able to speak with somebody who was actually involved with so many aspects of this world that we're like, every time we hear something, it's just like, terrible, this happened, my parents weren't taking care of me, they were using me for a check and this and shit. And he had nothing but good things to say, man. Like, he really had a lot of really positive things. He said the people that he worked with, he was very blessed. His parents took care of him. That was a big thing. Yeah, JC, I know JC, Jerry Miller of the Navarro Miller Report, where you and I met over a year ago, Brian, man. And yeah, his book is mind-blowing. Oh, damn, I didn't even know he had a book. So yeah, that's news to me right there. I bet it was, because he's a real cool guy, man. Real cool guy. But he was very open also. But he was just blowing my mind, because I went in automatically just having this mind state that, this kid probably went through a bunch of shit and this and that, and maybe had some experience he doesn't want to talk about. And I was kind of nervous to ask him questions, because like I said, the mindset was already made up. Oh, you're a kid actor, you're just going in this motherfucker and they just destroying you. So I think that's another reason why my mind kind of is not as, child star bad, somebody's fucking you or something's happening or whatever. Like, I kind of am seeing it at a different point. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not getting in my own way and building my own mentality instead of just allowing it to be built. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I watched the documentary, like you guys said, there was a lot of crazy shit in it, yo. And I am also glad that I had the ability to watch it just back to back. I didn't have to go through the watching
it week to week.
Yeah, because that's another one. Like, you get your own, thoughts and shit formulated about what you've seen, and then you kind of got to catch up with your own thoughts already, regulating. But I was able to watch it back to back. So I was literally just watching the stories, and I'm watching it open-minded. Like, yo, listen, this kid comes on here and says all this shit. Like you guys said, the first stuff about Dan Schneider, that was like the main, the main villain of the story and shit, because people were really going at him because he was one of the most popular ones. So immediately you got the finger pointed at your ass. I don't even give a fuck if he ain't even do nothing. Shit happening around you, whatever. You were the angel, but things happening around you, you still got a finger pointed at you. That's the reality of just being a leader. He stirred up some
drama too, bro.
Definitely.
Like, my God, he just, I can't believe when the sexism first and foremost with the female writers. He was like, like when they said he told them that females weren't funny, but I'll let you work, but I'll let you work for me anyway, and then started to yell and scream at them when he didn't like certain jokes, because he was on a power trip.
Yeah.
He was. He certainly was.
So like, when people think, especially early Nickelodeon, they're gonna think Dan Schneider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much power he actually had. Like, I knew that he was a showrunner for some of the classic shows, all that, Kenan and Kel, Amanda Show, stuff like that. I didn't know how much power this man actually held. So people were afraid of disappointing him because they didn't think they would get but once again, you hear stories like that in different in different like Hollywood-based stories. Either they're because you don't know where your next job is coming from, so you gotta be okay with whatever the boss says or whatever the director says, and
that's true.
It's or you're the kid who is who's bringing home the bacon, like and that imagine having that kind of pressure. Not everybody has that story though. And and I think that's what what Brian was saying when he spoke to the actor. Not everybody has that story. They might know somebody with that story.
Exactly. Yeah,
but not
that's really what
everybody
it is.
has that story. Hollywood is full of stories,
Exactly.
both good and bad.
Yeah,
you know?
but that's one of the things. Even like I was saying before, me going into not even watching the documentary, just thinking I know because I have pieces of information.
Yeah.
That's why I introduced this whole topic with that mentality, because that's really how it was, and I think a lot of people go there. And like I said, listen, we haven't even gotten into like the meat and potatoes of the shit yet, but I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure I can say anything at this point right here before I even speak anything else. And just by saying, listen, I went into that shit and I heard sides of the story where I was like, I believe that shit. I believe Dan Schneider when he says that shit. There'll be motherfuckers just because I say that right there. Oh, he's so bad. You believe him? Lay, remember when I did the rant on Vince McMahon? Bruh, and look at all the shit coming out now. All this coming out, Janelle Grant living with him, and there's different shit. Now his stories, bruh, like people want to pick the side that they feel is right. People want to feel righteous. People want to feel like their opinions are in the best category, and they want to demean anybody who's not at that level. And people do have, like you said, power trip. It's that fucking aspect too. You could be emotional power tripping, you could be physically power tripping. Dan Snyder was running Nickelodeon. There ain't no doubt about it. He was fucking running Nickelodeon. So when somebody comes and you have an aspiring talent, who's a writer, who's a performer, you have any of this, and you walk in front of this person that can open doors for your ass, you gonna be on best behavior. You don't want to be looked at as a problem. You don't want to be looked at as somebody who can't be worked with. Like you say, Kyle, these motherfuckers is trying to chase their dreams. Yo, it's not even just it's not Walmart where you can just go to Target next time or whatever. This is your opportunity. You usually only get one. So if you were able to, a woman, especially like the shit that he was doing, I believe every fucking woman that was up there to a degree, because I still got that part of me that knows people like to embellish shit. But what I firmly believe wholeheartedly was he was abusing the shit out of his power. There's no fucking doubt about it.
Yeah.
Big fat white dude, probably ain't get a lot of play. I'm being dead ass. I'm
You're
painting
right,
a picture.
though.
You're right.
I'm
They
painting
said
a
that at the
picture.
beginning of like they said that at the beginning of the documentary. He always played the fat guy. He always played the joke. His parents didn't think he would really get anywhere. So
in Harvard, his parents was in Harvard. This motherfucker was looked down. It was looked kind of down upon, and he forced himself, which he did, to create a name for himself. But come on, like you're saying.
But maybe that's why he chose children programming. Like when you find people that didn't really peak in their younger years, they pick positions of power so they can abuse other people. And again, like Dan is wrong, but I still have to say again, like a lot of things went back to parents and guardians that were supposed to be there, because like Kyle said, a lot of these children felt pressure because they were providing for whole families. And I can't think of the boy's name, but it was the black boy whose mom was like, oh no, you're not putting chocolate on my child. She didn't mind shaking. Yeah, him. She didn't mind like shaking it up or letting it be known, no, that's not, you're not putting my son in a monkey suit.
We're not putting my son in a monkey suit.
I know.
Shout out to her for real.
Behind that.
Shout out to her
for real.
For standing up. She stood on business.
Yep.
She stood on business 100%. Like, and now this man right here, I remember when he came on to all that. Right? I remember because I was a regular Snick watcher back.
Oh man, me too.
So watching these kids, like some of them, especially like him, Katrina, Amanda, Keenan, Kel, Josh Server, all of them, right? Watching them, I felt like for the most part, for the younger kids, I felt like I was growing up with them. So it's watching them doing the stuff that I thought about doing as a kid, because I always just thought, it was fun. I thought I thought they were just having fun, coming up with skits, being creative, and I'm the type of person whose mom would say, use your imagination, right? And here they are doing just that, coming up with the weirdest stuff. And Nickelodeon, like like looking at 90s Nickelodeon, what do we have? A lot of gross out humor. We had a lot of humor that pushed boundaries for what you could
For
do
real.
for a regular, for like a regular cable channel. My mom banned me from watching some stuff on Nickelodeon because she didn't like the humor. So it's not even just the Dan Schneider thing. It's the entirety of that, of that system.
You're
Because
absolutely Kyle, you're absolutely right with that. You're absolutely right, and that really is a something too where I felt like my opinion on that is going to be something that's going to be less popular, because I understand some of the shit that he did, yo. Like just like you said, yo. Remember, if you were an avid watcher of Nickelodeon, am I saying that there's not comparisons to a lot of sexualized shit? There definitely was. You know what I'm saying? There's even on SpongeBob and stuff like that, they do shit. Not all, but a lot of these shows that be coming out on Disney and stuff like that, they all got that little innuendo shit, like where it's like
up in the background,
you referencing, subliminal, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, it's like there was some things where I think people were kind of taking it a little bit. I think you were sexualizing it more than it was sexual. Like, you, at the end of the day, there's a lot you can look at sexually, you know what I'm saying? But then there's some blanket shit that's just like, yeah, bro, you definitely. It was for me when the kids were starting to talk and they were saying that the people that were behind the scenes were acknowledging it as sex. That's a different story. Now the intent is out in the fucking open. It's not like, hey, I have we're gonna do a scene where we spread toothpaste on your toes and brush them with faces on it. Is that sexual, or is that a funny kind of goofy kind of thing? You can look at it as being sexual if you got a foot fetish, if you know foot fetishes exist. But if you somebody who's just kind of a kid and I saw that, oh, he painted faces, he brushing the toes like their teeth. I can understand the childlike humor of that. So, like I'm saying, it's different mentalities, yo. But if you have your mind made up and shit, you feel me? It's gonna go, the slanted way.
Oh yeah, I can definitely understand what you're saying, but it's kind of hard to really think of it as just one way when it started happening as frequently as it did.
Yeah,
the frequentness of it as well.
The themes, the themes were the same. Like you brought up about the foot fishes. A lot of the things that he were doing, like when he had Ariana Grande sucking on her toes, like, come on now.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he definitely did, man.
Even the kids.
That water shit. Yeah, there was nothing about that wasn't sexual. Yeah, pouring water all over. I mean, that show Victoria. I watched that show Victorious. I watched pretty much. I mean, not everyone for sure, but I've watched a lot of Dan Snyder stuff. Remember, like, now, just to give everybody a history, like Dan Snyder created all that. Dan Snyder created Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, Kenan and Kel. I mean, the ones we grew up with, bro. iCarly, Victorious, amazing shows and shit. And it's like, to go back on our childhood now and like kind of understand, to relate a little bit, it's kind of like wrestling, A lot of people grew up with the kayfabe still being a big thing, thinking that these characters were, like, at least, like, maybe you didn't think it was all the way real, but you kind of thought it was like the characters were at least real. And then it's like you grow up and you understand the backside, you understand the other story, and you got the internet that's showing you like the behind the scenes just as it's happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you watching shit that you never get to watch before. So it's real difficult. Let me get to JC. JC blowing the comments up here. Schneider was a teen sensation before his behind the scenes career. I wouldn't call him a teen sensation, but he had
some credits.
Yeah, a couple credits there.
Credits.
But he was always playing the fat kid, like they said. Career on a sitcom called Head of the Class with Dan Fisherman and the late Howard Hessman. Yeah,
I think that's why he attached himself to like Amanda and other younger stars, because they represent the women that he couldn't get when he was in high school.
You diving deep now.
Oh wow. Did not
diving deep.
I mean, you already know he, like y'all said, he's always been the fat kid or the butt of the joke and whatever he played. And so he never thought when he was in high school or in college that he could bag an Amanda Bynes or he could bag like a Victorious or a bag in iCarly or anything like that. So now that he's in a position of power to where, hey, you got to do it now. So
Hey, listen, it's definitely a theory that you can relate to easily. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Go ahead, Kyle. You want to speak on that?
I just okay. So and none of us are using any of this as an excuse for what the behavior was like.
Yeah, but you can have a different thought and it's not an excuse for what, you know what I'm saying.
But we also have to. Sometimes I feel like, especially now, we got to clear the air. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
But so what you're saying is he was stunted, like mentally and emotionally, he was stunted. Now, with that in mind, like if you were to like say, because everybody had those high school crushes and like the, you know, in like the popular, you know, the popular girl or the funny girl or what, you know, or whatever, right? But thing was, that was when we were in high school. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. That's when we were in high school. When Amanda hit the scene, she was barely a teenager. And when you see like when you see Amanda Cosgrove from iCarly or freaking Victoria Justice, they were all teenagers or getting close to adulthood. And I hate to say it that way because it also even sounds, because it's just because even when you hear stories, like I've heard stories from Disney with Selena Gomez. Some of the people in the back, some of the producers and some of the people in the, the engineers and stuff, they were counting down the days till she turned 18.
And that is true. And okay, but see, Kyle, you're thinking about it from a grown man lens, not from a predator lens. So to get them at that age where you can groom them to become that one. See, the difference between, because, okay, I'm 32. So the difference between me and if a guy was like, okay, I'm going to get this 13-year-old, I've already had life experiences. I already know what I'm going to take and what I'm not going to take. Exactly. I already know what I'm going to let you do and what I'm not going to let you do. I already have my opinion set on certain things. Yeah, it's a possibility that it could change, but 13-year-old me didn't know anything. So when you have this man in front of you who is grown and he is, like Brian said, powerful, Nickelodeon, and he comes to you and say, you know what, I think you're funny and I want to put you on a show. Go ahead and let me put this honey on your toes and you suck it off. You're going to do it not only just because he said it, because you're, as a young woman, and I'm just speaking from a young woman's perspective and seeing, because this isn't just Hollywood. I remember going to high school and the dudes with the dunks would come and pick up my classmates at lunch. Like you think that you're special because you're getting this attention from an older guy, when in all reality, you're being groomed and used. And they were being used to the highest power, because not only was he using them for his own fetishes, but he was also using them to make money off of them.
Build. That's what I was gonna say. Like, Lay, first of all, thank you so much for coming on this show. This is perfect to have you on it. You give us a great fucking perspective. You give us some great perspective. But yeah, you're absolutely right, yo. It's easier to manipulate somebody who is less educated or is less knowledgeable of real life shit, man. And I do think for Dan Schneider, like you said before, like I'm not trying to create any kind of leverage for him or anything like that, but I'm just stating the obvious. He had a company to run. Do I think he was very passionate about his work? Hell yeah. I think he wanted nothing more than to be the most successful kids content creator in history. Did he abuse his power with that shit? Oh yeah. Because power corrupts, and it definitely happens to some motherfuckers in Hollywood. That's why it's such a frequent conversation, man. These people go into this shit to where, if you really think about it, this is a crazy thought process I've had, is it necessary to be great without being fucked up, yo? Because you start thinking this way. Just imagine if Dan Snyder, just imagine how complicated it would be to run a set, a show, a workplace with nothing but 13, 14, 15-year-olds running around, having attitudes, not wanting to do what the fuck they supposed to do. Do you really think that just with the work aspect of that, you think that shit wouldn't be challenging? You think he wouldn't have to say, hey, I need all of y'all to sit y'all ass down. We got to get through this tonight. This is what we got to do. We got a fucking job to do. I get it. Yeah, you're 13. But you're also an actor, and you also want this money, right? You paying the bills in the home, right? So there's going to be certain things that you want to factor into that conversation. I'm not hearing the I'm a minor conversation right now. You in the fucking hot seat, you the star. You got to go to work, bro. If it ain't for you, then you ain't for this. I get that part of it. Don't fuck around. But the giving massages and this and that, and that's where it's. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You can point out correct and well done shit. You know what I'm saying? Did he orchestrate them kids to get amazing content? Yes, he did. Did he do it in a healthy way? Maybe not. But the other shit that he was doing, here's the definite answer. Was he getting massages? I didn't know if he was getting massages from kids. I didn't hear that. But as far as making the women massage him and shit like that,
yep.
Fuck you. Like, that's where it's like, you doing that, bro? What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You put this great stuff out. Like, if I had a conversation with him, that's how I'd be. Damn, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You gave us all this awesome shit, and you're going to go and, degrade yourself by disrespecting people like that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep.
And I'm sure that's what he feels bad. And there is maybe some other stories. There's always, if you got a little bit of dirt, there's probably some more shit out there. And like you said, Kyle, there's more stuff coming out now.
Oh, yeah. Stuff came out recently. Like, for example, Lori Beth Denberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and she was, and she admits to giving him like massages and going over to his house. And she was 19, and she was 19 at the time. She was very, she was very honest, and she was confirming some things that some people had already said. The thing is, now I don't know if this is true because I went back and watched somebody else's opinion on it, but I don't want to skew mine. But when you say things like, okay, he asked me to give him massages, we never hooked up, right? We never hooked up, but he did try to do like other things, like he did try to have phone sex with me.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. There's gotta be now. Now people will say, okay, she was an adult, she knew what she was doing. My thing is,
hey, listen, that's my conversation. I'm sorry.
That's a whole different, that's a whole different thing. But this is also why I say don't date people you work with.
Yep. Yeah, that's the conversation. If you're 19 and you making up your mind now, like Lay was saying, if she started, I don't know what age she started working with Dan Schneider. If she was 16 years old and he's been kind of, if it was a grooming type situation, then you're getting looked at a little bit more. And that's like, nigga, you knew this girl since she was 14 and now you dating her at 19. All right, that's kind of weird. That's Marcus Houston shit. All right, there's a bunch of motherfuckers out there. Okay. There's a bunch of motherfuckers. That's Woody Allen shit. Woody Allen fucking even worse.
Man,
he had his stepkid.
Morgan Freeman crazy. Done it too, though.
Morgan Freeman too.
Yeah,
bro. There's some conversations.
Step granddaughter.
That's right. But if you was working with Lori Beth was always a big girl, and I don't know her life, but she didn't jump on the documentary. But afterwards, she started coming out, and that's another thing. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm gonna state it. Motherfuckers do come out for attention, bro. Motherfuckers do make up shit for attention. They see the opportunity. You ain't heard from them in a while and shit. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the kid we was talking about before, the one that I had on screen before, I'm not saying that shit ain't happened to him. I'm not saying he had a prerogative or a perspective that was very valid. But I don't know why. But for some reason, when I was listening to him talk, I was just reading some other shit.
But not that much happened to him. Not that much happened to him. And if you look, though, a lot of the black kids didn't really face a lot of the sexual exploitation.
Nah, they just faced more of the humiliation.
Yeah.
That was they may not have gotten the sexual exploitation of it all, but they've gotten more. they got more humiliated because there wasn't that many. Like if you look at early Nickelodeon, and I even read the like the biography of early Nickelodeon, there was not a lot of kids of color on Nickelodeon. Period.
Yeah, it wasn't
up until,
man.
Like up until a certain point. So Luther Shorts only had one girl who was the
token black kid. Remember South Park? South Park. The black kid's name is Token.
And then they would put my brother and me on like odd hours, like 3 in the morning. Yeah, I used to love my brother and me, but they didn't really. Oh yeah, Gullah
Island. Gullah Island, that was my shit, bro. Yo, the son on there, he had a rough life too. He died too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still Natalie and her husband, they actually live close to me, and they do like story times and things like that down in Charleston.
Yo, believe it or not, I hit him up. I hit him up trying to get him on the show. Ron.
Really?
Yeah, I sent him a message on Instagram. He didn't respond, but yeah, I was trying to get him on, man. I used to watch Gullah Gullah when I was a kid.
And that was one of my first like live shows. Like, remember those live shows they used to put on it, as kids?
Oh yeah.
They did a Gullah Gullah Island live show back in the day. Now it was only the parents in Binya Binya, and we had like nosebleed section sheets. But tell me, I was.
It was still lit.
It's awesome. I know that show was probably great.
So excited.
Yeah. Yeah, but guys, we're talking about the Quiet on the Set documentary, and a lot of this conversation has been about Dan Snyder because, like you said, once again, if you the president of some shit, you getting all the fingers no matter what. Now, the other things that were crazy about this, and this is a conversation I want to ask you guys. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I'll just open it up with my opinion first. When you working with kids and shit, and you trying to, that's like your bread and butter, like that's what you want to do. I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I know it can't be everybody, but I just feel like you kind of got some weird shit a little bit. You kind of got some weird shit a little bit. I don't know why I feel that way. Like I know some people love kids, and there's motherfuckers who go to the parks and they play bubbles with kids and stuff like that, or they don't got no kids of their own. They just like playing with kids and stuff like that. To me, that shit kind of weird, bro. I'm sorry, but my guard is immediately up when I see people who are just like, all you do is work with kids all day. Damn, I don't know if it's getting a nerd. You like adults, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in the industry, it's hard just to have that because you have content creators and you have to have that. But to hear this shit and to have all this stuff going on, knowing that there are all these weirdos in Hollywood and all around the world, really. But in the documentary it showed it's 3 specific ones who actually really were doing shit that got caught. You know what I'm saying? The ones that got caught, and they were around the sets and stuff like that. They were like on screen hands. One of them is a fucking complete actor and everything. And do you guys agree? Like, do you think that there is just something weird when somebody just wants to be in an environment with children all the time?
I wouldn't say weird per se for every person, and I'm just saying, okay, because at one point I used to sub at elementaries and I used to work as a children's librarian.
Okay.
So I would see dynamics, but something that always kind of, I guess, would give me a red flag is I know most male teachers are more careful when it comes to their student interactions. So they're more intentional with how they interact with their students because they already know, like with women, and that's why it's so hard to catch when a woman is grooming a student and having sex with a student, because you automatically assume, oh, well, she's a woman, she's loving, she's nurturing.
Mothering,
but then when you get to that male educator, like, let me side eye him.
Yep,
so
you're right. Late killing it on this motherfucker today.
I'm telling you, this is what I know. But see, when you get those male teachers that are a little bit too like, oh, come here, give me a hug type.
Did you see? Not to cut you off, but the teacher that was getting.
Yep.
We had just talked to me and IT Tiff just talked about that. It was a teacher who was letting the students. It was like 3 girls. Surround him, and they were taking his braids out, and they fired. I think they fired him or some shit. I think it was like a substitute.
They fired him.
Bro, that's too much. That's too much, man. Like, why can you not
And
understand? That's too
even when you
much.
take like the subbing classes, because you have to take classes to get like your substitution certificate, at least here. I don't know about other places. And you have about 3 to 4 sexual harassment classes that you have to take for hours. And telling you, oh, you can't hug the students, you can't take the students' phone number, you can't follow them on social media, they can't follow you. And I'm sitting there like, why we got to take these classes over and over? And it's basically the same classes over and over, but it's because it happens so frequently.
Bro, people don't have common sense. That's another reason. I want to chill real second and shout out Slim, my other partner. What up, Slim? You all out here, bro.
What's on, Slim?
That's good, bro. Dan Snyder was a sick freak. I did it for you, Slim. I did the rock voice for you. With a foot fetish, I thought it was crazy because you're here, child stars, horror stories. I think it's harder. I think it hits harder because Nickelodeon always been a good light. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's definitely the big reason, bro. Nickelodeon was always a love for us, man. We're gonna get into that conversation in a minute, but let's go back to JC. JC, you over here writing books, bro. It's hard to keep up. Brian, it all comes down to the mentality and individual perspective of the view, regardless of age and generational differences. That's very true. Kids are so naive. Okay, let me read the rest. To how people like Snyder intend in what they ask of them, because it's the attention of someone not only older, but has experience in the business and has the power to help and hurt. Yeah, that is very true.
That's exactly what I said. Like,
I was only, it is. I was only pausing for a second because I just did a show where I was saying kids are naive to certain things because they don't have experience. Of course, without experience, you're gonna kind of be, more open to, situations and shit like that or whatever. But kids definitely do understand some shit, man, a lot more than we ever did. Probably, I would say back in the day.
Yeah, especially now.
A lot more influence, man. There's a lot more things to learn. My daughter runs around. She does watch her tablet a lot. Fuck you. Don't say nothing. Oh, yeah. She watches her tablet. We work. We do shit. But we still homeschool. We still do a lot of shit. So, But it's like she gets a lot of perspective, man. She'll be saying things that we ain't never, ever said in the house. And we're like, how did you get that? How did you get the concept to use that word in the correct reference? Like, how did you understand that shit?
But see, the downside with that is predators and groomers use that as an excuse and say, oh, well, they're on their tablet. They see this. I didn't know what this was when I was that age. So she knows or he knows. So, yeah, they were well older beyond their years. So technically it wasn't. So you still have to be kind of careful with that line.
That's true.
And I guess I'm like really in tune because I am a woman and I grew up in an environment where, like Kyle was saying, they wait for your 18th birthday. Like, true story. As soon as I turned 18, there's this man I know, like, birthday, June 3rd, like, came at me. So it's like they really are certain people out here that are just like, so you still, I get us having that open conversation, but you still have to kind of, like I said, put disclaimers on it because some people say, oh, well, Brian said they're not that naive.
You're right.
No, they know certain things, but you still don't know the inner workings of a relationship, and you're still not old enough to know, oh, thank you. And you're still not old enough to know when you're being manipulated. Because some grown women don't even know that they're being manipulated. They have masters and letting somebody with a high school diploma manipulate them out their rent money. So we don't.
It's absolutely true.
Let me flip it. So.
Or grown men who are teachers teaching students who don't understand the concept of maybe this is too invasive. Maybe I shouldn't have these people's children grooming me in a class. Come on, be serious. Like, do you need somebody to tell you that shit? If you do,
it's very.
Go ahead, Kyle.
No. Finish what you were saying.
I was gonna say, even outside of sexual, that's still so unprofessional.
It's very unprofessional.
Very, very. It's very, like, a lot of times when you hear like like something that I would hear all the time growing up, and I'm sure that everybody has heard this, and they would say, respect your elders. Right now, respect goes both ways, right? Like I used to, like anytime an adult told me to do something, because of the respect your elders and because I come from a huge family, that was something that I kept in the back of my head until one day a friend of mine who, has issues with like not like issues with with like certain people. He said, I don't believe that. I'm like, like why not? And then I thought about it. They only said respect your elders because of age, not because of the fact that they're actually trying to, they're actually respecting you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because they're older than you and just because they have wisdom does not mean that they respect you as as a person. And some predators will use that as as a reason to get kids to listen to them. Oh, I'm older than you. I know more than you do. So therefore you have to listen to me. Unfortunately, it can be it can be like a double-edged sword. It's good to have respect for for others, but regardless of age. Shoot, I will tell my young nieces and nephews, if you do not want to hug me because we don't see each other that often, if you don't want to hug me, you don't feel comfortable hugging me just yet, you don't have to. I'm not going to force you. You have to you come to me and tell me that you trust me, and that's and Uncle Kyle's got your back. Other than that, I'm not going to make my little nieces and nephews, or in future, in future family members, want, like force them to hug me or interact with me in any way if they are not ready,
Yeah, no, I definitely understand, and like you said, it is one of those weird things because respect is earned, in most cases. Now, when you do say things like respect your elders, it is off the strength of just like, hey, listen, I'm somebody who's been on this motherfucker longer than you. I've been through more, and the experience is here. Now, there's a lot of little, sideways situations with that as well, because, somebody who's obtained wisdom and they've grown up, you should show them, an amount of respect for just that purpose. It is definitely a reason. A younger kid sees an older gentleman and he's walking and he's saying something. You should never say, fuck you, old man. You just, whatever. It's complete disrespect. No reason for it. Even if there is a reason for it, you should still. Look at you should never have that outcome, bro.
You made me think about that episode of SpongeBob when they kept beating up that old fish. Like, can we teach you a lesson, old man?
How many times do we gotta teach this lesson?
I remember that. He said, "Oh, such nice kids."
But you're right. Like, it's hard, especially down south. It's respect your elders. It's nailed into your brain. However, you also have to be able to have that conversation with your child. Like, for instance, when I was working at the library on the beach, we had a situation. Now, the way our library was set up, the kids section had an adult librarian in it all the time. And we usually didn't let adults in the children's section unless they were like a parent or there with that child.
Yeah.
But the adult stuff was upstairs. So this particular child, she was probably like 6 or 7. Her mom left her on the computer. She was on the computer content by herself. Her mom went upstairs. And this man came to the library and he went in the children's section like he was looking at books. And he started he wrote the little girl a note and gave it to her.
Listen, bro.
And so she gave the note to us because she wasn't sure. And that's going to get to the point that I'm trying to get to. But we ended up having to have him trespass and all this stuff. And I said that to say this, like, yes, teach your children to respect elders, but also teach them, okay, good touch, bad touch. If you feel like any adult is making you feel uncomfortable in any way, like how Kyle was saying, let an adult know. Because just because that person has wisdom don't mean that they have wisdom in the things that's going to benefit you. You get older and you get wisdom, but it depends on what you get wisdom in.
Yeah. We have these conversations as well with believe it or not, with parents too. Like like I've said this a million times on my shows. Like I'm super thorough with my kids, yo. Like I'm very open. I'm that dad. I tell them every fucking thing. Like, and I enjoy that because, like you said, man, there's a lot of cliche there's also a lot of hidden messages, and there's a lot of shit that you don't get until your experience happens. And you don't want to have to experience everything in order to learn some shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to have to be on fucking fire to know that that's probably not the best situation to be in and shit. So it's like, you know, you do have to have these conversations on how to have a strong defense and how to protect yourself in you know, hypothetical situations. So everything we're talking about right now all draws back to kids need to be protected, man. People need to stop allowing their children, even at the library where you got the, you know, I don't let my fucking kids I'm sorry, nowhere, bro. There's and if they are somewhere, we got shit, you know, to know where they are, what they're doing. We know what's going on in almost every fucking way, yo. I call me this time. We got this. You set this alarm. Do this. We try our best to build a strong defense so they understand how to be aware, how to be understanding of who to interact with and who not to interact. I've had conversations with my kids about, yo, don't make friends with kids. Don't go to the bathroom with a group of kids. Don't go under the stairs. Hey, I want to show you something. Don't do none of that shit, yo. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Even with your peers. Not even just like adults and shit, man. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, it's so much conversation that needs to be had. And like you said, Lay, like you said, Kyle, you know, these kids who were, you know, going through this shit. Another part, going back to the documentary to touch up on it, and then we're going to kind of close out of it. Yep. But, you know, one of the biggest stories, man, of course, was this guy right here, bro. This shit was heartbreaking, man, because it's like, before this came out, you know, this is where it's going to get kind of weird. I'm going to say all this real quick. I'm trying to take too much time. Drake came out, and I heard mostly this on TikTok. I heard his situation on TikTok, and they said, "Oh, apparently, you know, when Drake's doing this, yeah, he was getting this. He had some situation happen and stuff like that, and you know, nobody expected it was him. Nobody knew it was him or whatever. I didn't know any of the story about. They found out that it was an incident. They didn't know who was involved. None of that shit, and they just found out it was him. So." When I was watching like the TikToks and shit, I just saw, oh, this happened. I just thought it was a one-time thing. He had got something happened to him, and then that was it. Now, with that concept, I was like, oh, damn, Drake, damn, you went through that shit? That shit happened to you? Whatever. When I watched the documentary, it's going to sound crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just going to fucking tell you right now. When I watched the documentary and I found out that it wasn't just that one time, it was multiple times. It was, I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to explain everything real fast. It was multiple times. It was his dad there, avid fucking parent, trying his hardest to keep his kids. And remember, we're in the world of, I want emancipation. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to work longer hours. I want to do all this shit or whatever. I want to be getting fucking groomed by all these different people. Definitely grooming happening and all that shit or whatever. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not saying anything. But I kind of feel like Drake was in a little bit more of a situation than what even we're experiencing. Listen, don't fucking say, listen, Beeline, don't say that to me yet. I feel like there was more going on than just that guy was this. I feel like Drake was on some shit right there, bro. I don't know. I'm not agreeing with him. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying whether he was groomed into the situation, it was almost like they had a fucking relationship, man. Even if it was just because he was like, hey, this guy can do something for me. I don't want to say no because of this. I completely understand. He was a young kid, man. He was taken advantage of by somebody who was fucking definitely, you know, had experience in doing this shit in the industry for a long time, probably had it done to him. I remember watching Brian Peck when he was on fucking Return of the Living Dead. You know what I'm saying? Like he goes back in the industry a long time.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not trying to talk too much. I just got to say it because other people are going to clip this shit and be like, oh, this motherfucker. I'm just giving my honest fucking opinion, bro. I thought at the beginning it was a one-time thing. No, don't do that. And then, bam, mommy did this shit. And they called the fucking cops and then they had the thing. And that's when they had the thing. And then when I found out, and I actually watched the full documentary, and I found out that it was an ongoing.
But Drake's story has so many levels to it.
It's
Like
fucking
just
crazy,
starting
man.
with the dad noticing, like, okay, I don't like you being around my child like that.
Exactly.
And letting other staff know, and staff was saying, oh, well, you're homophobic. I do feel like, yeah, Drake leaned in, but I say that because he more than likely had some form of Stockholm syndrome. Like a lot of people, when they are abused, they grow a trauma bond with that person. And I feel like that's what it was for Drake. And I don't blame him at all because he was a child. But
Yeah.
Brian Peck was wilding because why were you calling that child back to back to back,
Fucking nut job,
like
man.
to go to
Yeah.
Disney World? Like Brian really had some stuff because he was the one that had the John Wayne Gacy
He was the one with the
letter.
John Wayne Gacy.
He's fucking he's just fucking crazy.
And
Yeah,
he
he's
had
crazy
a
as shit.
record of doing this.
Yep.
Like he had a record of doing this. It was him and that guy, the guy on set that would, that would like take the kids away from their parents and be like, okay, we're gonna be over here, you guys are over here. That guy. Those two stories pissed me off because I was like, hold on, how in the heck did Peck only get away with like 2 or 3 years, and people were sending like letters,
yeah,
for him because they
Bro.
obviously did not know the whole story. Because I remember,
Yes, good, Kyle. I'm sorry, you're touching shit here.
yeah, it's just that they obviously didn't know the whole story. Like I remember, when this whole thing originally came out before the documentary, Will Friedle and a couple people from Boy Meets World who had worked with the man, they defended him, but because they did not know the whole story, I remember people were going after them like, "Oh, you're gonna defend this pedophile." They only knew what the lawyers told them.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with
what he told them. What Brian Peck told him.
They only knew what he and probably a few other people on his side told him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that pissed me off, because this dude still, as far as I know, still working after that whole thing that happened with Josh. He still got a job with Disney. Yeah. So
he did.
So I'm like, where are the background checks?
Those are the conversations. Those are the conversations. Like, what is being done, what is being implemented to make sure that these kids are in safe environments. If you have a situation where you did a thorough background check, you hired somebody who's always been great with kids and always done amazing things, and then just fucking, God forbid, something happened and he wound up doing something for the first time, then the fingers and shit, as soon as you go to the thing, immediately the company's like, yo, listen, I don't understand what happened. We did this. We had this in place. We've had this laws. I don't know how this happened. It was some unbelievable, once-off situation, unfortunately. Then you're a little more understanding. Damn, it was the first time. But when you got somebody who has records of doing this shit, then you start to say to yourself, damn, is there a deeper kind of acceptance of this kind of material?
It is, because Hollywood protects the wolves and leave the lambs out to slaughter. They had, like Kyle mentioned, even back when Shirley Temple, if you listen to some of the things that she talked about, Judy Garland, when she was shooting The Wizard of Oz, she was on like 15 or 16, and they had her smoking cigarettes and just drinking
diet pills and
and
that was the producers and her mother.
Rules were way more lenient back then.
It doesn't benefit them to make strict rules for background checks or make strict rules of qualifications of working on set with kids. It doesn't really benefit them because it's a wolves game there.
And also think of it like this, like just for the sake of argument, like just imagine how difficult it would be if you had to find a specific type of person, man. Everybody can't be an actor, bro. Everybody can't be an actor. Everybody can't jump up on a stage. Everybody's not a fucking performer. It's a very specific kind of personality. So if you had all of these litigations and shit like that you need in place to be able to work with these people and stuff like that. Like, it's unfortunate that the industry has to be a freer kind of environment because it's selective pickings, man. And I'm not saying that there isn't more things that you could do in a more beneficial way, because there definitely is. But at the end of the day, like you said, like, people are, really trying to just make sure that they're getting their shit done, taking advantage of their power and shit like that. I feel like it's just like an added bonus. Thing. I mean, it might even be more than what that is, now elevated in a lot of ways. But I wanted to say this when Kyle was saying the stuff about, like, the dudes from Boy Meets World and stuff like this. One of the things I listened to on the documentary, and I also listened to the response that Will Fidel and Ryder Strong gave when they were saying it. Like, they said Brian Peck. This is another thing, like I said, with the Drake situation. I like how you formulated the Stockholm Syndrome and stuff, Lay. They said, like, even he was saying it. There's always some shit that I hear, and I'm like, you a piece of shit. You a piece of shit. I know you a piece of shit. I know you did shit, but I kind of believe you. I ain't gonna fucking lie. I really feel like him and he really felt, this is my boyfriend. This is my guy. This is my man, or whatever. That's why he was calling him fucking 7,000 times. Go to Disney. I wasn't going to Disneyland.
Clearly, he doesn't have the mindset of a sane adult.
Exactly.
See, you keep explaining it like a sane adult man.
Exactly.
These are not sane adult people that have sexual relations with children. There's no way possible that you can be sane
and do that
so
shit.
Of course Brian would say, oh well, yeah, he came on to me, Drake came on to me. Of course he would say that because he's not thinking logically. Exactly. To him, because he wants it. And another thing about predators, they kind of know. I watched this thing because me and my sister, we watch a lot of To Catch a Predator, the old episode.
All the fucking all day.
Yeah.
I love seeing them get caught.
Yes. And one guy was talking, it was a video that came up after, and he actually talked about he was a pedophile and he was in jail for that. And he said he knew which children to target. If he knew that your parents worked all day, okay, that's the one to target. If he knew, okay, well, her mom really, really is man crazy, so I might can slide in there and be her boyfriend and get her.
Exactly.
They know. Brian knew, and let me tell you how he knew. He was able to turn that set against Drake's dad.
Yes, yeah,
and get Drake's mama to get on board. And I no excuses for her because she was warned. Drake daddy told her, like, whatever you do, please just don't let my child around Brian Peck. You can have the money, you can, handle his career from now on, but just don't let him near Brian. And she was so slack. And I think she kind of knew, because there's no way in the world. I
definitely think she kind of knew. I think I think it was that weird dynamic that, and this is pure just us, speculating and shit. But I think it was that weird dynamic with the mom and the dad who's divorced, and you tell somebody something, whatever, motherfucker, and you just ready to do that shit instead of taking them seriously. And then but like you said also, Lay, a good point that you're pointing out. Just because you have a warped fucking mentality in a very fucking devious, treacherous kind of fucking way, it doesn't make you stupid. It doesn't make you stupid at all. As a matter of fact, it can potentially, with a hunger for something that's so fucking wrong and unnatural, you're growing a fucking calculated mentality to formulate everything.
You're wrong.
That's exactly. So that's why it's even more scary, bro.
Look at Mary Kay Letourneau's documentary that she did before she died with Billy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but you should have, because it happened in like the early 90s. She was a school teacher. Billy was in like 5th or 6th grade, so about 14 or 15 years old. Not 14 or 15. And she had a baby. Yeah, she had a baby. Oh, and she would bring him around her kids and have them play with her kids in the daytime. And then at night, she was having sex. But what I'm saying is, she said the same thing that Brian would say. Like, if you watch the interview with Billy sitting right beside her, she'd be like, well, you were the one in charge. Remember, you were the one
I
that
remember
would
that.
me.
I remember that. Holy
No,
shit,
ma'am,
I remember that.
I don't. I do not care what a boy in sixth grade. First of all, boys in sixth grade, they don't even wash their hands.
Listen,
So
I don't know how the fuck. There's so many
Really?
weird things. Like,
That's what's putting you. That would let me know right there. Her elevator didn't go all the way to the top.
I'm trying to tell
But
you.
for her to sit there and they are saying things like that to justify their actions.
Exactly.
It's in the same category as when a woman gets raped or something like that, and they say, "Oh, well, what were you wearing?" Or
What were
if
you
a black
wearing?
man get guns down by a police officer, well, was he doing
this?
acting belligerent? Like, those predators use those hot terms to get people to say, "Oh, well, I get it. If he was tempting
Absolutely.
you, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't care what kind of temptation a boy that's 14-year-old puts in front of me. I'm not even gonna look in his direction because I know that's not. I don't even want to date somebody that's like 25 because I still feel like that's kind of young since I'm in my 30s.
No. I was like, my thing was like, I can't. My girlfriend and I have an age gap, but it's not like a significant one. She still remembers. She's a 90s kid. She's a 90s baby. Like, if you can't remember the 90s, we're not gonna work. I'm not saying researching it. I'm not saying looking up old videos. I mean, if you do not remember the 90s, it ain't gonna work.
Right?
You know?
Because what do y'all have to talk about?
Fucking weird, man.
Exactly.
It's all sexual, man. It's got to be all sexual because there is no way to have any. There is no way to have any kind of like positive. That's why I always feel like when I hear stories like this, yeah, these motherfuckers, they feel like they got a toy that they can play with. But there's no way you can have some kind of relatable shit that's really happening between you and somebody that's so much younger than you.
Like Jay-Z and Beyonce, for example. She was 16 and Jay-Z was like in his 20s, like late 20s. And you can look this up. She was like 16 or 17, and she was like, well, we didn't date. We would just talk on the phone, and we didn't get serious until I was like 19 or 20. As a 32-year-old woman, I can't see myself just sitting on the phone talking to a 16-year-old boy.
16-year-old fucking kid.
What we talking about, baby? Homework?
Bro, listen, yo.
Like, I've seen relationships where there is a significant age gap, in things like that, but they get together while they're already
older.
Yeah, older. She was a teenager, so
at least older.
Yeah, she was a teenager, so no.
Like Drake and Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah,
that's some grooming shit, bro. To me, that's some grooming shit. I ain't gonna lie. You talking to a kid who's 16 and you having full grown conversations to call him and shit. I can see if y'all like did a movie together and y'all like, hey, what's up? Hey, you doing good? Let's go. We all out to dinner celebrating the movie. But you just, somebody from the documentary that I liked that I was listening to like people talk about was Jerry Trainer. He's he was in a lot of shows, Drake and Josh, and
he was the protector.
Yeah, they were saying like he was kind of like a projector on the set. Like he was
the protector. That dude, like, I give him all the props. I give him all the props because he protected them. He protected Jeanette McCurdy.
He grew up in the industry, so I'm pretty sure he knew.
He
grew up in the industry, and I remember seeing him as like Crazy Steve and the crazy wacky characters
Drake and Josh.
He would play. But exactly. So but after learning about this, I mean, I had respect for the man anyway, but after learning about this, I was like, dude, you have the utmost respect for me. You don't even know me.
But see, that makes the parents look even worse because, like you said, he grew up in the business. And remember that lady whose mom was an actress and she wanted to be a child star, but her mom was like, no, I see what's going there. I won't live. But as soon as her daughter became older, because she wanted to live vicariously through her.
Yep.
And then when she found out that man was emailing her daughter naked pictures, she was like, I was afraid to go to the police because I didn't know what they would say about me. About you?
You fucking crazy. Yeah, that's the crazy. That might be the craziest shit in that whole fucking documentary. I remember you're absolutely right. Yeah. I can't even imagine somebody saying, listen, especially me, like my kid, anything with my fucking kids, like you're telling me you didn't know what they were gonna. That is the stupidest fucking excuse. It definitely makes me question, like, why was it happening and how much you were allowing to happen.
It had to be a lot because that girl was like a 10 or 11. Why was she emailing a grown man? And you knew she was emailing a grown man. It wasn't like they met online, because I know that happens sometimes. You meet online and that happens. But you knew he was emailing your child. You knew. You were like, yeah, they email all the time, but this particular day, no, they would not be, because what do you have to say
all
to my
the
child?
fucking time? Yeah, no, I don't understand, bro. I just don't understand, bro. Jerry Trainer
those parents. Yeah, Dan Snyder and Brian Peck and all of them are monsters, but you can only eat these lambs if there's offered to you, and these parents were offering their kids. You can't convince me otherwise.
Lay's going in.
They know the game.
They know the game. I don't think it was intentional. Just to clarify, I don't personally think it was. I don't think these parents went in and said, "Take my kids and do whatever you want with them." I don't think it's intentional. I think it's something.
No, Brian, because remember, because I'm gonna take it back to what is Surviving R. Kelly. There was a parent in particular that was on there, and remember, she told her daughter, "Well, you know, he like young girls, so maybe you should go and dress like this. This is the outfit you should wear."
Definitely, yeah.
So as a mother, some of these people know, and they are willingly give their children to be sexually abused for a check.
Lay, you are absolutely right. There's definitely categories. There's no way. There's pieces of shit in every fucking category. My point is, like I said, I'm always trying to find the understanding. You know why? Because these conversations are important, because when you have understanding, that's where you can form knowledge, and that's where you can form defense, and that's where you can build your barriers and go from fucking there. If you just think that everybody in Hollywood's out to get you, and then you got a kid who is a phenomenal fucking talent, and he wants to go and try his luck in Mad TV or Saturday Night Live and be a movie star and shit like that. But he has the understanding that everybody's gonna fuck you, everybody's gonna dog you. Don't do this. Pass your life, live your fucking gas station, career, and keep going forward. That's where the dangers come in. Why should he have to suffer? Because we know that there's a category of pieces of shit, no matter how much we, speak on their behalf, and maybe even as it might be a small motherfucking category. It's just, it's talked about so loudly, and it is so important that we have to acknowledge that shit so greatly. But at the same time, you have to have the understanding that it isn't everybody, man. It isn't everybody. It isn't Jerry Trainer, apparently, for all we know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we do have to still have the knowledge, like, listen, there's parents out there that's trying to take their kid and they trying to make them successful. Maybe the Dan Snyders are a little bit loud. Hey, what are you doing? Prime fucking example. Like I said, I am the dad who is, don't talk to my kids. Don't flip my kids. I fucking pulled my son out of a third grade class because this fucking teacher over there lying on him. I went to school. I damn near had my drawers on. And I went to the school and I said, because my teacher called me up and said, hey, your son's drawing sexual pictures in class. And I said, what? I never had a fucking conversation like that. Went there, saw the handwriting, immediately knew it wasn't my son. That ain't his shit. Get my fucking son out this class. I had a problem with you ever since the first day I saw you. I went to my son's rehearsal or whatever, his band practice thing, his concert. He had a music teacher, bald head, black dude. Dude was super into his work, man. You could tell he's very passionate. He did amazing with these kids. But at some points of the show, that motherfucker picked up the microphone and said, hey, all y'all sit down. Sit the hell down right now. We ain't dealing with this. Y'all know better. You ain't doing this in my class. You better act right. You better get it together. And he went in. And as a parent, me, if I was in fucking Walmart and somebody would have said that shit to my kid, I don't give a fuck, you know him. Hey, sit your ass down. Be careful. My son's running around, whatever he's doing. I'm flipping on you. What the fuck you think you're talking? But his character in that position,
I
didn't even think about it. I said, boy, this motherfucker, he got these kids right. He's
Yeah.
doing this thing.
That's like the whole foot. Who was that coaching? And like the mom got mad because he was fussing at her son. And
Yeah.
I was like, I guess it's because I usually watch TV and stuff when I was growing up with my dad, so it wasn't nothing to hear all kind of stuff when the game was on.
Exactly.
And even going to like a high school football game, sometimes them coaches really be laying in it.
Yeah.
What
Get your ass in that fucking game.
Barbecue a mildew. So
Yeah, man.
but I think, like you said, with that character, and it's all about place and intention, because that music teacher and those football and basketball coaches and people like that, they're there to give you discipline. That's what a different sort of discipline, not like beating or anything like that, but to kind of let you know, okay, everybody in life ain't gonna go for your crap. So
absolutely.
I'm showing you outside of the house, people not gonna go for certain things. So in my class, we're not gonna do certain things. But she was, oh gosh.
Yeah, I believe you, but that's why I'm just saying, like, it's a reason to talk about the uncomfortable, man. It's some shit that it's just like, we all know the shit with Dan Snyder because of what people have told us and the arguments, and you know what? There's a lot of allegations, man. Do I think that all of them are wrong? Nah. I think there was enough people saying that shit collectively. They made a whole documentary about the shit. You getting massages, my guy. Yeah, you abusing your fucking power. Only thing I need to hear is massages, and I'm like, you abusing your power. I don't know if you fucking anybody. I'll be straight up. I haven't heard anything about that. But even Drake said when shit happened to me, the horrible shit happened to me, Dan was the only person that was reaching out to me. I completely believe him. I believe Dan Snyder is probably at heart, for the most part, a pretty good guy with sick ass tendencies, and he's just an abusing power, man. He grew up in whatever way, however you want to look at it. But I think his intent was to make great content, but he allowed the fucking power to get to his head. If I had to formulate a characteristic thing for him, that would be my shit, man. And if there's more shit out there, maybe. Yeah. But for the information I have now, if more shit was out there and it came out, I wouldn't be shocked. But as far as right now, I'm not gonna further diminish somebody who's already got problems and shit against them, because hey, that's what I think. That's what I've learned. But you also have to always understand why shit's happening, so you can formulate and walk correctly, because that's the most important, man. You don't want to be stuck in your fucking house paranoid because missing out on opportunities because you hear so much negative bullshit. But that's the only shit, man. But Lay, I'm really glad you came on. You really laid a lot of perspective that I think only a woman can lay, right, Kyle? I mean, I think me and you, having the conversation, it would have went, definitely in a lot of the same areas. But you really put down an interesting perspective on a woman's behalf, like, because it's real for you guys, man. IT Tip says it all the time. It's not that you guys are weaker. It's not anything. It's that you're looked at like you are. And since that happens, the challenges that get thrown at you are way more. If you look at something heavy as shit and you like, I know I can pick this up, and you try to pick that bitch, oh, fuck, it's heavy, fuck that. And then you look at a pillow, I could pick this bitch up and throw it everywhere. You're going to pick up everything that looks like a pillow the rest of your life and leave everything heavy alone as much as you can. That's women and men, bro. He might be challenging. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit. So people going to try y'all a lot more than they going to try a guy, because we just have that reputation as it's a little harder to deal with them. Or kids, it's a little easier to deal with. That's why the fucking animals attack the babies. They draw the fucking parents away. Man,
like you saying that, Brian, made me think. I heard somebody say, like in like a self-defense class or something, a man would never ask you for help. Like if you're a guy, and by help I mean like he's on the side of the road and he's like, hey, I can't get this tire on my car, could you help me? Because that's how Ted Bundy was getting them girls.
That's
killing
right.
them. He would walk with his arm in a sling, be like, hey, could you help me carry? And I was like, that makes so much sense. Why would you pick somebody that can't really carry heavy? I'm struggling and you struggling. So why didn't you ask? So
Yeah, you're right,
that
man.
really stuck with me. And thank you so much. I didn't know I was wise beyond my years.
Oh yeah, yo, Lay, you dropping knowledge. I don't know if you know or not, but yeah, you dropping knowledge, man. Right now, it's you're definitely speaking, and like I said, it's not like we're not fucking psychologists on here.
No.
We're just talking shit, but it's truth, man. It's truth. It's calculated. It's calculated. It's calculated plans or whatever. Like that's what these people are doing. They're not stupid, man. I think one of the worst conceptions that we have as people are, it gets a lot by media. Is that the bad guy is always he's always dumb. He's always the ugly guy with the hat on and creeping slowly in the shadows. Like, motherfuckers is geniuses, man. And to be real with you, it really seems like the ones who are in the most high points of power and shit are the most calculated, and they're the most criminal. And we're always looking for the bad guy or the black guy or the what I'm saying, like you're looking for the motherfuckers that you find intimidating instead of looking for the motherfuckers who actually able to pull shit off and capable of doing the worst shit. Man, I didn't know we were going to talk about this for the whole show.
Yeah,
we had I should have known though. We had because it's a big topic. But Beeline, we had a couple other topics we were going to talk about on the entertainment show. This kind of took it all. We're not going to do everything. It's already an hour and a half in. But we'll get back to that. Maybe next week we'll jump back on and we'll do the top 5. And Lay, you're more than welcome to come on whenever you want.
Okay.
That was an amazing segment. Kyle, thank you so much as well. Kyle's really the reason why we even started. He had mentioned it. That's why I watched it and everything because of the conversation we were having. But
yeah, man, that was a lot because I had a lot of it still, just fresh in my head.
Yeah.
But going at it from all these different perspectives, it really does help not to be biased towards one towards one side or the other. You know what I'm saying? And so in looking at it from looking at life that way, that's one way I try my best to look at life.
Trying to tell you, man.
The same way, because I do not know everything. I don't know everybody's life story. I don't know, and there are certain things that you cannot excuse that unfortunately, people have excused. Like I've had conversations with people and they've reminded me of way back in the day when people would marry their kids off at age as soon as
13, 12.
Sometimes as soon as your little daughter got their period, it was like, oh well, no, it's ready to go. We got a farm you got to have kids. There's still some places around the country where that is still legal.
Yeah, man, it's
so,
crazy shit.
Anyway, I'm gonna stop before I get myself in it again. But thanks again. Tonight was awesome, very informative.
Really good conversation tonight, for real.
Yeah, I had fun.
Yeah, this was really good conversation. I really enjoyed just being able to talk about this serious aspect, but you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you deal with, we all have been on a number of shows at this point. Sometimes you deal with conversations where everybody's just so opinionated they're not willing to listen, and I don't like that shit, yo. I really, especially because I am kind of one of the people who I do like to even sometimes just devil advocate shit. Let's just say for the fuck of it, let's just say it is this reason. Can you put together any kind of thought process to have an argument against your side? Even you know what I'm saying? That shit helps your it helps your narrative, man. It also helps build your character and stuff like that. I think, but yeah, man, it's really interesting, yo. I would, as somebody who, we're all kind of in this industry, you know what I'm saying? We're we're doing the podcasting stuff, Lay, you're doing the videos and the representations, and Kyle, you're doing the editing work and working with different shows and stuff like that. To know that there's so much evil in this industry and there's so much evil people, just going into with that mentality. After a while, man. Even I get listening to rap or the music, or when you're watching the Grammys and shit, and you see the devil's horns on fucking Sam Smith, and damn, can y'all take a fucking break, man? Is it this much? I don't even want to listen to this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I fight with that, and then I start thinking back to I put a song on, or a song will just come on, and I'll listen to it. And I'm like, damn, man, I remember how much I love music. Why am I not listening to it as much anymore? And then I'm thinking back because you can't fucking turn it on without some demonistic shit or whatever going on. You don't always want to be dealing. You know what I'm saying? Like. It's challenging. That's the fucking battle. And then you start, questioning yourself. Am I giving into temptation that's wrong? Is this shit really wrong? Or is it just a handful of motherfuckers who just are just doing it completely wrong and there is still good in this situation? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's the battle you have to face and understand so you can get the benefits from, the things that we enjoy. That's all, But, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know it's been on for almost. The show's been going a little longer recently, but I've been loving it. Right. They had a lot of context in this motherfucker. Last night we did like 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, like this was not. We were not playing around with with this one. And plus, there's still more stuff coming out now. So it's and unfortunately, this will. I don't think this will ever go away. To be honest. Yeah, me neither, man. But having the difficult conversations like this, I believe will help.
Yes, I definitely think it's a little bit. It's definitely going to build up a little bit more attention. Yes. And if people are actively talking out loud, it's definitely that Me Too movement was a big deal for Hollywood, man. It was a big deal for people in general. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But guys, listen, I love you guys, man. I really enjoyed the show. Next week, hey Kyle, me and you, we gonna have to and late too. And late, if we're gonna watch some shit, I'm gonna watch some shit. We're gonna get a proper
you got
watch
to watch
list put together.
The Ashley Madison. Remember
recommendation from Lay. Ashley Madison.
Oh jeez. Okay.
I gotta watch that. Yeah, somebody else told me about that too. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna watch that maybe even tonight. I want to stay up. I don't want to go to sleep right away. I hate that going to sleep shit. But guys,
I need to laugh, so I'm gonna go to my safe space is someplace to laugh. I'm gonna call my girlfriend, and I'm gonna have some laughs. That's what I'm gonna do.
Good shit, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. I didn't even go to bed last night until like 3.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm running on like borrowed time at the moment. So once I lay down, it's over.
Get some sleep.
Yeah. I am. We was playing that wrestling game last night. That shit was rocking, y'all. I went back and watched it, man. That shit was good. Check out You Didn't Know Wrestle Trivia from STR and Commission. That was a really good game. But guys, Beeline, thank you guys so much for watching all night. If you haven't already, of course, like, share, and subscribe. Go follow everybody in the room, of course, one more time. And if you guys are enjoying the conversation, we will be back next week. We'll have a watch list, and we'll have some more stuff to talk about, of course. That's what we do. So until next time, stay true. Stay positive and pay attention to what you're doing, because that's going to be the best way to protect yourself, protect your family, and get shit done, honestly. Paying attention to what you're doing. All right, guys. This is the Beeline ENT, the place where you come on and show up. I love that shit. It's back. It's back, y'all. Good night, everybody.
Good night.